Hey everyone, I'm Jesse McCartney, and these are my Marquee memories. One of my earliest concert memories was going to see NSYNC when I want to say I was 12 or 13. At the time, I had just signed on to join a boy band of my own called Dream Street. We were a short-lived boy band in the late 90s, early 2000s, and the producers took us to an NSYNC concert to basically say, like, this is what you guys need to be doing. And it was at Madison Square Garden, and it was packed. It was sold out, of course. A couple years later, Dream Street got to a point where we were making noise and waves, and we ended up opening up for Britney Spears. And on the opening night of the concert, one of the producers of the show came up to us and said, hey, there's somebody that wants to come backstage and talk to you guys before you go on. And we're like, okay. And the door opens, and it's Justin Timberlake. And he's like, hey guys, and we're just shell-shocked, could not believe it was him. He just was so gracious, and he came up and he's like, you guys are the next thing, and I'm so excited for you. And it was definitely a full circle moment, because just a couple years before that, we were watching him from the nosebleeds of Madison Square Garden. He's one of the best, and I'm sure over the years I've stolen some of his moves. So I went to a James Taylor and Carole King concert at the Hollywood Bowl here in Los Angeles in 2010. And that was a very special show for me, because these are two artists that my parents grew up listening to and idolized. As a kid, I remember, getting in my dad's car and driving up to grandma's house for an hour and a half and just listening to these albums on repeat. But what really made this experience special is 3 short years later, I had the opportunity to play at the White House. Carole King received the Gershwin Prize for music, and I was invited. I still don't know why. I had no business being there, but I was invited to perform for President Obama and Michelle Obama, and I performed one of Carole's songs, Home Again. And I was on stage with James Taylor, Carole King, Billy Joel, some of the most incredible people I grew up listening to. And so it was such a full circle moment. A few short years before that, I was watching them at the Bowl, and now here I am at the White House performing. I think I messed up like the first 4 bars of music, to be honest with you, because I was so nervous. I'd never been more nervous as a performer in my life. That generation of songwriter they're getting older, and we have to cherish those moments as they come. So I was sort of a late subscriber to the Jimmy Buffett madness. I didn't grow up listening to Jimmy, but my wife and her dad, my father and mother-in-law, were both big Parrot heads. And Jimmy was performing in Delray Beach, Florida, which is where my in-laws are from. We went to the concert, and it was just such a cool experience. He came out, and I mean, he was, in his 70s and performing in shorts and a t-shirt and flip-flops like he does. There's like something that happens when you've been playing that long together, that just everything clicks. They don't even have to look at each other. They just know where they're going. And I've been playing with my band now for over a decade. A lot of the guys I play with have been playing with for a long time, and we're just starting to get that. He's just such a gracious and giving musician, where he lets everybody shine and have a moment. And so whether it's my drummer or my bass player or my guitar player, like I try to always give them a moment. And it's something that Jimmy did a lot during his show, which I really admired. One of the songs that I really loved from that concert was a song called Little Miss Magic, which my wife and her dad chose as their father-daughter dance for our wedding, which was super emotional, to say the least. Little did we know that it would be one of his last shows. I just feel so grateful that I actually got to see him perform. Thanks for listening to my Marquee memories. Be sure to check me out on tour to make some memories of your own.